Hey friends, it's Monday, so let's get right into it. The word for reflection is found in Matthew 10 and Matthew 11 respectively. And sort of the title of this little mini devotional thought is carry the cross before you try to carry the yoke. Here's the thing, in our day there's been so much around conversation, podcasts, books, and they're great. Most all of them about rest and about Sabbath and about, you know, uh all of these sort of practices that in a Western culture are like a breath of fresh air because so many of us are super exhausted. But here's the reality, much of our exhaustion and much of our busyness, much of our strain and stress and anxiety are because we have things in our lives that are more important than Jesus. So hear these words from him afresh. Here's the one liner. Before Jesus calls us to carry his yoke, Matthew 11:28 through 30. He calls us to carry the cross in Matthew 10, verse 37 through 39. Let me read both passages and then I'll make just a few comments. Matthew 10:37. Anyone who loves his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And anyone who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Here's the reality. If you try to just rush and take the yoke of Jesus, to try to adopt his rhythms and routines, his life and his lifestyle, but you have not yet taken your self life to the cross, until you've brought those things you love more than Jesus and you say, Jesus, no, you are Lord, King, and Master of my life, not my core relationships, not my job, not those things I reach for to derive my identity, my power, my platform, my influence, fame, and fortune, or the people I roll with. All of those things can become master. Imagine trying to take the yoke and then say, Jesus, where's the rest? But he's like, hey, your house is divided. There's a wisdom in reading the flow of thought in the gospel. Yes, rest is the telos of discipleship. Rest is the future of the new Jerusalem, resting with God, enjoying the new creation. But before we take the yoke, we have to take up the cross because a house divided against itself cannot stand. Jesus told us way back in Matthew 6, no one can serve two masters. Either he'll hate the one and love the other, be devoted to the one and despise the other. So I love Jesus before he gets, we're going to read it in a minute. Matthew 11, take my yoke, learn from me. We're going to read it. But before we get there, he says, I want you to love me first and most because you're going to become like the thing you love the most. So if it's me, you're willing to take up your cross, deny yourself, to sort of go do inventory, all things that I'm looking to, reaching for, holding on to derive my identity, significance, purpose, my future, my security, sense of acceptance, all of those things, Jesus, I want to bring before you in yielded surrender. I want to carry the cross so that my house has one master, and it's not me, it's the Lord Jesus Christ. When he's reigning and ruling, it makes a whole lot of sense then to say, since you're enthroned, I want to now take up your yoke. So that you being able to teach me from your humble and gentle heart, there's a yes in my heart because I've already denied myself, carried the cross and said, Lord, whatever you say goes. Where you lead, I follow. Now, listen to this promise. So, carry the cross before you try to carry the yoke. Listen to this in Matthew 11:28. It's the infamous, come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now, what a thrill to be invited to come to Jesus, to take his life, his lifestyle, his teachings as the overarching shaping force of our lives, to take his very life into ourself, the result being rest all the way down and all the way through. My humble thought today is that we can forever be reaching for rest on the inside. But until we settle and then continue to re-up, just like I wear a wedding ring every day. I don't renew my wedding vows before my wife, but it reminds me I am committed to one woman for life. I'm in a bond of a covenant for all of my days. So too, every day we remind ourselves, Lord, I'm going to carry my cross. I am not reigning and ruling at the center of my heart. You are. And as we continue to carry the cross and follow him, carrying his yoke truly will be light and easy. We'll get to learn from his humble, beautiful, and gentle heart. It is his kindness that calls us to the cross because he knows until self and sin, that thing we inherited from Adam, has been nailed to the cross of self-denial, there will be no true, deep, abiding, and internal peace or rest. Carry the cross, carry the yoke, and let's just continue to pursue a lifestyle where Jesus is the